Hey, I'm Alexandra Harbushka. I'm excited to be with you here. It's day 26 of my 60-day postpartum journey back to my goal weight, which is 120 pounds. And I realize that is a lot to do in 60 days, but hey, you got to set a goal. So just to give you a quick recap of what's going on in case you're just tuning in, this is your first video or where you are, my normal weight is 120 pounds, give or take, right? And during my pregnancy, I got up to 52 pounds. So I gained 32 pounds and I am on day 26 and I weighed myself today and I was 133 pounds. So I have 13 pounds to go, which I feel pretty good about. And I have 34 days to do it. So I don't know, we'll see, right? We'll see how it goes. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you today about is about exercise. And so I want to talk to you about types of exercise I did while pregnant and how I think that that's actually benefiting me now. But before I get into that, yesterday I talked about, I started doing some walking and I asked my doctor if it was allowed and he was like, absolutely not. So as far as what I'm doing now, I am just eating healthy and resting my body and not doing any exercise. I cannot wait to get back to my exercise, which is what I'll tell you about today. So exercise is something I've been doing since I've had a driver's license, or willingly. I mean, I always exercised as a kid, but you don't realize you're exercising as a kid because like you're in sports or whatever. But I willingly started exercising when I was 16, pretty much almost every day. It's just something that's a part of my life. So I've been doing this for 21 years. Yeah, 21 years, which is a long time. It's just been something that's part of my life. It's something that even my husband and I do together. We even incorporate it into our date nights. We're both really active. He was a college athlete. And when we're in San Diego, we add it in. So we actually do beach walks, and on our beach walks, we'll stop and get a glass of wine, or we'll go for a walk and then stop and get a glass of wine afterwards or something like that. So there's fun ways to incorporate it in. Another great thing, what we try to do in the mornings when we're in Las Vegas and in San Diego both, is we try and walk about 20 minutes together because my husband likes to make a turn and go to the gym, or I keep going and walk our dog. But it's just time that we have together, and we use it as like, it's just time we can be spending together, talking. What's your day like? How's your day? What's going on? Solve problems, ask each other questions. So it's something that we've really incorporated into our marriage. So I really invite you to do the same. If you're like, well, exercise, how do I add that? And we're so busy. Hey, absolutely add it. There's ways to make it fun and exciting. It doesn't have to be this like I gotta go exercise. So one thing I want to add, I am not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, I'm not a personal trainer, I have no fitness training background, so I'm talking about what I did while I was pregnant, and that means if this is something that you want to do or you have questions about, definitely ask a medical provider. I do not have that credential or responsibility to tell you or what to do, how to do it. Of course, you want to make sure that, especially while you're pregnant, you're following your doctor's program, right? You just want to be safe. There's a lot of benefits to exercise, as we know. It helps lower cholesterol, it helps with your cardiovascular health, it helps with your stress, your overall mood, weight management, all these other things. So I'll be honest, there's two reasons why I exercise. And I mentioned this in my first video, it's hard for me to admit that I like to look good. Like, it's important for me to feel good. Like, I get nervous saying that. Like I said, I have this whole other YouTube channel on herpes, genital herpes. Like, I talk about my genital herpes all the time, and that doesn't get me like anxious, but for me to say out loud to you, like, I like to look good in my body is hard. I think there's a stigma attached, or people think it's you're vain or something like that. But I do. It's important for me to feel good and comfortable in a bikini, and I want to feel good in my body. So that's one of the reasons why I exercise, is for weight management and to fight gravity and aging and keep your muscles strong. The other, of course, is for the benefits that it has with your mood and boosting, just keeping your mental health and stress relief and all that. So there's two reasons why I do it. Now, while you're pregnant, there's also some added benefits to exercise. Well, I'm sure they were always there before, but they are emphasized while you're pregnant. So it also can help with bloating, said that funny. Bloating and swelling. When you're pregnant, you tend to bloat or swell. So walking can help with that. It also can help you sleep better, which is really important. Also, while you're pregnant, if you know there's nights you're just like an owl, you're like up all night. So it helps with that. It can help your energy. It can help you increase energy, which we all know there's times when you're pregnant, you're like, how can I even get out of bed? But if you just go for a walk, it can be really helpful, or just move your body. It can help increase energy. And it can also help with like back aches and just like body aches while you're pregnant. So there's, some added benefits to that. Some other things that are really good for you while you're pregnant, two things to consider are Kegels and leg exercises. So Kegels help strengthen your pelvic floor, which helps with bowel movements, and then also helps with pushing while you're in labor. So strengthening those muscles to help you push while in labor. So that's really important. So Kegel exercises are just exercises that will strengthen your pelvic floor. And then another one that's really good for you to do are exercises like squats, or just toning your legs or getting your legs stronger, because that helps open your hips, which obviously the more open your hips are, the easier the delivery is going to be, supposedly. Now, I exercised almost every day, and I had a 2.5 day labor. So in my case, my body just wasn't ready to go into labor. But in general, when I was pushing, they called me Superwoman. I don't know if they tell that to everybody, but they were like, whoa, you are a hard pusher. So I think it's my bar. Excuse me. I'm choking on my own saliva. Okay, so let me share with you what I did while I was pregnant. So prior to being pregnant, prior to going through IVF, I was hardcore, like high intensity workouts. I loved boot camp. I loved things with kettlebells. Like I was like, yeah, let's do, jumping jacks and like all sorts of squats and like awful stuff, right? And I loved it. I love that high intensity. I really, really craved it. But that had to come to an end while being pregnant, because they say that your heart rate cannot get over 150. So you have to do low impact exercises. I was like, wah. What am I going to do? So I changed over to bar. So if you're not familiar with bar, it's basically like adding a ballet class, Pilates, any type of like movement exercises. And you basically work all of those little muscles that are like you don't know you have. And you do light weights, and you do multiple reps. And I have to tell you, I didn't think that it would change my body, but it really sculpted my body in different ways that a boot camp does. So I have to say I prefer my body doing bar than I do doing boot camp. I fell in love with bar. I absolutely love it. So I started doing bar 4 times a week. I realized that there's times that's not always feasible, whether it was my schedule that didn't allow it, or my body physically didn't allow it because I was pregnant, because I was either feeling run down, or I needed to rest my body, whatever that was. I definitely listened to my body, so I wouldn't always do 4 times a week. I might do 3. Another thing that was really important to me was walking. One of the reasons, I have a puppy, so she needed it probably more than I did, because she was better behaved when I walked her. But going around my community, it's about 3 miles. So I would do that 6 times a week. And that, again, may seem like a lot, but it's something that my body was used to. And so I was able to do that as much as possible. Speaking of my puppy, here she is. Hi. Oh, you're all wet from the rain. So anyways, that's what we would do every morning. It would take us about, 50 minutes to do that. It was important to me. I also, working from home and being at home and not having an office to go to or things like that, I don't get extra steps in. So I wouldn't get a lot of walking in because I would just be home. So it was really important to me too, to get those steps in. They say 10,000 steps a day. So it was important for me to do that. So that's what I did while I was pregnant. I feel that it's really helping me in this postpartum. My body is used to movement. It's used to exercise. It wants to go back to the way it was. That's just what I'm thinking. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not, I didn't take kinesiology. I don't know any of that, but I do think that your body wants to go back to the way it was because that's what it's used to. So that's why I feel like, perhaps my body's I'm dropping weight a little bit faster. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens on this journey. I'm just going to let my body do what it wants to do. I understand it took 9 months for me to get where I am, and I'm not just going to snap back overnight. And it requires letting your body rest, letting your body heal, and feeding it with proper nutrition, giving it sleep, getting it nourishment, and of course exercise as well, right? It's going to need that as well when I can, when I'm released and able to exercise. So that is my update for today. Stay tuned for day 27. We'll see where I am, what's going on, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. If you have more questions, go to alexandraharbushka.com. Also subscribe to this video so you can follow me. Bye.